Paul Comfort, the host of Transit Unplugged, and we're excited to be today at the APTA TRANSform Conference with a panel of 5 of America's leading transit CEOs. Let's give them all a round of applause. Let's go right down and talk. Actually, let me start with Ken McDonald, who is the APTA CEO of the Year 2025. Very good. And next to him, Ben Stupka, the Executive Director of the RTA in Detroit and a graduate of Leadership APTA this year. Congratulations. All right, and Amanda Wanke she's CEO of DART, but not the one you're thinking about. The one in Des Moines Transit. Let's welcome her. Great to have you, Amanda. And then my good friend, Ben Limmer, who we were just up filming an episode of our TV show there in Connecticut. He's head of CT Transit. Let's welcome him. And Jessica Mefford-Miller, CEO of Valley Metro in Phoenix, where we filmed an episode last year. Thank you so much for being here. Let's welcome her. So on Transit Unplugged, the goal of the show and the goal of this live panel is to elicit great responses from CEOs and executives about what they're working on, what it's like to live a day in their life, and also what they see the future as. So let's start with Jessica. Do you mind passing down the mic, Ken? That's great. So Jessica heads up the transit system. She came from Bi-State in St. Louis, where I got to know her some there, and now she is a CEO in Phoenix, Arizona. So give us a little about your agency. Tell us about the size and scope of your responsibilities. Let's start with you.
Thanks, Paul. Valley Metro is this on?
It's on. Put a little closer.
Okay, Valley Metro is the regional public transportation authority for the Phoenix metropolitan region, and we operate bus, light rail, paratransit, demand responsive service, as well as streetcar across the vast Maricopa County metropolitan region. We have a number of operators across Valley Metro. The Valley Metro team itself, including our contract workforce, is about 2,000.
2,000 people. And you just recently opened a whole new line. Tell us about that.
That's right. We opened the South Central Light Rail Extension in June of this year. 5.5 miles, 8 stations connecting downtown Phoenix with South Central Phoenix. So we celebrated that with 5,000 of our friends and neighbors on a hot and sunny day in Phoenix in June.
5,000 people out for a transit event. That's saying something. That's exciting. All right, Ben Limmer's been a good friend of mine for a long time. He heads up the Connecticut Transit Authority, kind of similar to what Maryland is, a statewide agency. He heads up transit there. It's very unique responsibility. Tell us about what you've got going there, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on. We are one of the few states where the statewide organization actually operates the transit system. So we have about 700 buses. We have 420 rail cars. We have 3 commuter rail lines. Of course, bus routes all over the state. And we, similar to Jessica, use a lot of contracted operators. All in all, it's about 6,500 employees providing transit services throughout our state. And I'm very happy to be up here because I was born in Michigan, went to college in Iowa. My first big transit job was in Phoenix. So I'm happy to be up here with these folks.
That's great. And in Connecticut, Ben, tell us about the place of, you may not have known this, but Connecticut is the birthplace of an American icon, the hamburger.
The
We went and had one.
hamburger. And you get nothing but the bread and the burger.
That's right.
So don't ask for like jalapenos or something because you are not going to get it.
Literally, the hamburger was invented and first sold there in Connecticut. Anyway, just an interesting little fact. All right, Amanda, tell us about Des Moines, Iowa, and your transit agency there.
I'm Amanda, and the Des Moines Area Regional Transit Authority is made up of 11 member governments, including a county and 10 cities. We have approximately 130 vehicles and about 300 employees operating fixed route microtransit and paratransit as well.
Sorry about that. I was trying to get you a little bit louder, so because we can't hear you. But yeah, that's good.
I don't want to get lipstick on the microphone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Like singers that do that. Excellent. Anything else you want to share?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Ken, tell us about Long Beach Transit.
Okay, I'm Ken McDonald. I'm the president and CEO at Long Beach Transit, which is south of LA County, southern part of LA County. We have about 250 buses. We carry about 19 million people a year, so we're in a dense urban area. We have 4 water taxis that we also operate, and paratransit. Important thing about us, we had paratransit operation in 1978. So long before paratransit was something in the industry, Long Beach Transit was providing that service for people with the necessity to get around on outside of our regular buses.
That's great, Ben. Thanks. Ben, all right, tell us about what's happening in Detroit and explain the structure. It's kind of similar to Chicago, but your RTA actually operates service.
Yeah, we're a pretty unique and young agency. So we're about 10 years old. The Regional Transit Authority of Southeast Michigan covers a 4-county region, so about 4 million people. There's 3 large transit providers that we work with. We're the funding agency and the regional planning agency, and we run regional programs for them. So if you take the full scope of the entire region, we're talking about 3 major agencies, 2 rail operations, about several dozen, over 50 small community operations, 600 buses, tons of 10,000 bus stops. It's a pretty big scope. We just recently started operating some express bus services under a contract. Those are our first major express bus services we've ever had in the region. And then just last year, about a year ago in October, we took over the streetcar operation. So my day-to-day is things at a very, very high level and things at a very, very close to the street level. So it can be very varied. Yeah.
That's good. All right, let's go to you, Ken. Tell us about the biggest transformation that your agency has had in the last couple years.
So I think our biggest, in 2016, we started switching over to 100% zero emission vehicles. That was a big transition for our agency. We're now going through, halfway through this project. And our biggest challenge right now is, I tell folks that we found out that, is it the chicken or the egg? And I found out it is the chicken. You need to have the infrastructure before you can buy electric buses. So we are going through a lot of infrastructure upgrade at Long Beach Transit right now.
Is your goal to go all electric, or are you going to add hydrogen, or what's your game plan?
Half electric, half hydrogen is our plan. So we are
good, man.
Close to 75% completed on electric and about to begin hydrogen.
Excellent. Wow, that's good. I'm a big advocate of looking into hydrogen. I think that's a sustainable fuel for the future. That's great. Amanda, how about you? What's some of the biggest transformations you've had there?
Sure. So we are right in the middle of our biggest transformation in more than a decade, and we are reimagining our transit network. But then even going beyond that, we're looking at everything from our fare policy to an economic impact study to new partnerships and programs. But we're starting first with the network and focusing that service, because I think for all of us, we need to deliver the best possible service in the most important corridors. And the region's changed a lot, travel patterns have changed a lot, and it's time to change that service.
How big is Des Moines?
The greater Des Moines region is about 750,000. As a region, Des Moines itself is around 250.
Okay, very good. If you're just coming up, this is a live Transit Unplugged roundtable with 5 of America's #1 CEOs. Next up is my good buddy Ben Limmer from Connecticut. Ben, you've got so much going on up there. I was so impressed with your operations when I was there just last month. While we were there, Ben and I got the experience of being able to go to an REO Speedwagon 6 concert and interview the lead singers for our show. And so that was kind of fun. The lead singer of Styx, which was my band back in the 80s, you know? So that was pretty cool. But tell us about some new transformations you've got going on. You got so much happening.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you for coming up. We really did ride buses and trains when Paul came up. We didn't have fun the entire time, but we tried to. Transformations, I mean, similar to my partners up here, I'd say one of the biggest ones is we noticed during COVID and actually even before that our bus system was really the workhorse of our transit network. Everyone loves the rail system to take you to New York or wherever that might be throughout the state. But the bus system was really the workhorse. The governor recognized that. So we invested about 15% more of our operating budget towards beefing up our bus system, and the returns on the ridership and the support we got from the public was really off the chart. So as we look forward, We too are going to do a reimagining a bus system. I think you're not cool in 2025 if you don't do one. So looking forward to that.
That's great. Look at the clothing patterns here. I just noticed, right? Pink and pink, blue and blue, and at the end, it's just kind of that's kind of neat. We didn't plan that, but it looks cool from a perspective. Yeah, yeah, that's great. All right, so you've got so much going on too. You just had a brand new line open up. Also, Ben's system just celebrated 50 years. Woo! That was great. We got to see that when we were there. All right, tell us what's happening there in the last 2 years. What's the coolest thing? The most biggest transformation?
So for us, the biggest transformation that we've implemented has been rail expansion. And in the last 3 years, we have opened 3 rail expansion projects, 2 light rail, 1 streetcar, all ahead of schedule, all under budget. So building out this system and continuing the economic development in the communities around us, I think has been our biggest transformation so far. But we want to keep up with the cool kids, of course. And we remember that 70% of our customers every day are actually riding the bus portion of our system. So next month, we kick off the public engagement portion of our bus network redesign called Your Voice, Your Ride, where for the first time in 20 years, if you can believe that, we are reimagining mobility across the streets in the Phoenix metropolitan region.
I love the artwork you had installed in your stations. Talk about that for just a minute.
Yeah, we have a wonderful arts and transit program at Valley Metro. By board policy, 1% of our capital program budgets are devoted to art. Many of those art installations include artists from our local and regional communities. And on our South Central extension, we were very focused on evoking the culture and the history of those communities throughout our 8 stations. So it's a wonderful program. We have a program called ArtsLine. You can find us online where you can see beautiful photos and descriptions of those pieces of artwork, or better yet, come visit us, take a ride, enjoy some art, some culture, some great food, as Paul and I did when he visited.
Yeah, man, that was good. Yeah, you got to see her episode. It's fun. All right, so we are at the Vauntis booth today, and I want to introduce Simon Ferguson, who helps lead up the group here. Thank you so much for your sponsorship today. And Peter Axel, thank you. So Peter had a question for me he wanted me to ask you all today when we met this morning, and that was, how about you, Jessica? Tell us about a day in the life of Jessica Mefford-Miller as CEO of the transit agency. What did you do on I know every day is different, but what's an average day for you like?
Yeah, so one of the things I love about this role is that every day is different, it is diverse. So each day includes communicating with at least some of my 19-member elected official board members. So that's a lot. Our 11 executive team members who are responsible for running the organization. And on any given day, I'm probably touching 6 or so different projects and programs that we're doing deep dives into. And then at some point in each day, I'm consulting our dashboard so I know where we stand with respect to our performance, our operations, as well as our customer sentiment data. And then ideally, I make it home at a good time to see my children and have a workout, which is the one thing I do for myself to de-stress from the intensity of those busy days.
Let me ask you a question on capital projects. You have a lot of them. How do you hold your engineering department and all the A&E vendors that are there? How do you hold them accountable? Do you do like regular quarterly meetings where they have to come in and justify, or what do you do there?
Yeah, we have layers of meetings. It culminates actually in a quarterly meeting with the Federal Transit Administration, our state safety oversight, and our project management oversight. But these detailed meetings review all of our progress against schedule, against budget. We identify those critical path issues. And then within our teams, we have very well-defined touch points and escalation points. So if we're not solving something at that field supervisor or resident engineer level, we have a clear process for quickly escalating that so that we can resolve any issues with schedule, budget, contract challenge, so we can keep our projects moving. And that is one way we've been able to finish ahead of schedule and under budget.
Yeah, one of the things people don't understand about CEOs is the agencies they oversee. All these are larger size agencies. They're almost like little mini mayors, is what I call it. You're like a mayor of a city. You've got so many operations spread out, all kinds of construction projects. You're interacting with the city council, the state legislature. Ben has to go up there and do that as a state agency, and you become almost like a politician. You have to lead from the front. You're making speeches and all like that. So the average day of a CEO oftentimes doesn't just happen during the working hours. I remember, and I'm sure you guys do the same, I remember laying in bed 11 o'clock at night like this, texting on my phone, and my wife's like, Paul, put your phone down. You need to go to sleep. I got to do this. Somebody needs a response to, right? Ben, let's send it down to you. What's a day in your life like, man, being an RTA where you kind of oversee 3 agencies, plus you have your own operation?
Yeah, so I wish I could say we were as organized and buttoned up as your operation. So we're still kind of a small operation. So the one thing I wanted to touch on, we do spend a lot of time with the state legislature and our partners. So particularly over the last couple of weeks, as a state budget is hopefully going to be passed by the end of September, so we can keep paying bills. So we just last week, I went up with the CEOs from the other major agencies and did a whole tour of the state capitol with all the key legislators. So that was a really important piece of advocacy that we're doing at a state level. So I do spend a lot of time doing that. I answered a text from my board chair at 5:30 on a Saturday morning, just like I'm sure all the rest of you guys do. And then for us, it's really learning how to also deal with things at that level, but then also the day-to-day operations of a streetcar system. So last week, right before I came here, we just buttoned up our triennial safety audit, which was so much fun. So that's the first time I've been through something like that. So it's kind of ping-ponging back and forth between things at the ground level and things at a very high level.
I got to tell you,
It's not boring.
Detroit is my new favorite American city, the one from this year. I'm not kidding, man. And shout out to your new leaders there, right?
Absolutely.
Tiffany Gunter, the new head of SMART,
That's
is
right.
phenomenal. Great there. And Robert Kramer there,
Yep.
running the city DDOT. You guys have an amazing team.
Yep.
Speaking of team, let me call out my new buddy Demetrius here from New York City. Let's give the CEO of New York City Transit a round of applause for being here today. Great to see you, Demetrius. Yeah, we just had him on the podcast to kick off Super September. Thanks for coming by, brother. Let me just ask you, how are things going in New York? Give me a quick shout out.
It's New York, baby. It's always great.
You got to listen to this podcast. How many jobs have you had, man, in the agency? 22 jobs. He's worked his way up in the agency to the president of New York City Transit. 40% of all the rides that happen in any given day in America on transit happened with that man. He had 40% of all the rides in America happen in New York City. So a great ambassador for our industry. Thank you. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause, man. It's good. He's a superstar. All right, let's talk about leadership under pressure. Speaking of another superstar, CEO of the year. Come on, Ken. Ken, tell us share with us a moment when your leadership team this year had to pivot to meet a challenge. There's so many things that happen any given day. You can't plan your day. When's the last time your team had to pivot?
I think we do that every day.
Yeah.
You get up in the morning and you decide I'm going to go to work, and you pivot as soon as you hit the office. So I think as a CEO, I find I spend about 75% of my time outside of the organization. I used to think I used to think it was 60, but I have a deputy who runs mostly of the inside. But I find I spend a lot of time with customers, with the board, with politicians. You get all these questions, and now in Long Beach with the Olympics and FIFA coming up, we have 11 events of the Olympics that would be held in Long Beach. So we have to think about that transportation. So planning for the Olympics and for FIFA is a big part of our daily life right now.
That's good. How about you, Amanda? Tell us about a time recently where you've had to pivot.
Yeah. Well, like you said, pivoting is a part every day. Adaptability is one of our core values as an organization, and it is. You have to adapt out on the street. You have to adapt to the politics. One of ours within the last year was when some of our member governments, we were made up of 11 member governments, had a disagreement that went quite public and gained a lot of attention. We pivoted and took that opportunity, and we always say take lemons and make them into lemonade. And so we took that opportunity to talk about the importance of working together regionally and to do some education on what state and federal government says about the importance of doing transit regionally and all that goes into running a transit agency, because we all make it look so easy. So sometimes taking that step back to help people understand how complicated it is and why we all need to be a part of it together is really important.
Ben, other than eating the best pizza in America that you and I had in New Haven, tell us about a time when you've had to pivot.
Well, the big secret about that is I'm actually from Detroit, and I think that pizza is much better. But please don't tell the people back home.
Yeah.
So
by the way, all the ingredients are flown in from Italy. at that place, man.
This is true.
Check out the episode we've got coming up where they show us how they
I
make
had
the
to.
pizza and all there. It's ranked number one. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, certainly, you do definitely your day can change very quickly, as everyone has said. The one example that sticks out is, unfortunately, we're seeing a lot more of the extreme weather in the Northeast. So late last year, we had a significant rainfall, and we had a large washout on one of our rail lines, the Waterbury line. So we had to quickly work with our partners in New York to quickly mobilize and get the situation fixed. But it involved, dozens of local towns, the state legislature, obviously. And since we are a DOT, we had pretty quick access to some significant engineering and rebuild resources. That's just a small one that sticks out.
One of the other fun things we got to do in Connecticut last month was Ben runs ferries that take cars across this river. They have the oldest ferry in America, it's still operating from the 1600s there. This wasn't that one, this was the other one, but I got to sit in the driver's seat, the captain's seat, and drive the ferry over with cars on it. That was pretty fun. I know I wasn't supposed to say that out loud, but it was a good time.
I would much rather Jessica drive the ferry. But
nobody fell overboard.
My car was on the ferry, and seeing you drive made me very nervous. But hey.
Rightfully so, brother. All right, Jessica, tell us about a time you've had to pivot. You've had so many interesting. She's got America's car-free city or town there in your area too. Talk about that for a second. That's kind of fun. And then any pivoting.
Okay, so we have Cul-de-sac, which is a development located in Tempe. It is a car-free community. There is no parking within Cul-de-sac. When you lease an apartment in that development, you'll get a transit pass. You'll also get a membership with a discount to Lyft for rides, and you'll get an e-bicycle, which is super handy in the Phoenix summer. So yeah, check it out, Cul-de-sac. We pivot a lot. So transit is 24/7, 365. So in the interest of keeping it real, the last time our team pivoted is about the time my head hit the pillow last night. Things happen. We are a big system. We have 38.5 miles of street running light rail and 3 miles of street running streetcar. And last night we did have a situation where a motor vehicle impacted one of our trains in revenue service, and everybody walked away, thankfully. But I had teams on the ground who are working at this moment to re-rail that train and to support our revenue service. And so that means everyone steps into not only their role, but also stretch roles. So I'm up through the night getting information from my team, communicating with our board and elected officials. I have staff who are communicating with the public. We were able to single track for revenue operations in the 4 a.m. hour today. And now we'll work to recover that service and rebuild our overhead catenary system today, moving into tomorrow. So that takes everyone working together. We're working in shifts. I've got team who are flying back from Boston to Phoenix right now to support that effort. But this is just, doesn't happen every day, thankfully, but things happen and we have to work to respond. And I'd like to think the success of our team and our collaboration and teamwork are never more apparent than when things don't go as planned.
Let's talk about ridership. It's not the number one, most important, end all, be all, do all, but it is something that we're measured by those who fund us. And so we have to know the room. And the room for people that are politicians and the funding agencies often ask us about ridership. So let's start with you, Jessica. What are you doing to rebuild ridership? Where are you at in ridership?
So our rail ridership, not surprisingly, because our rail system is so young and it is growing, so rail ridership has returned in Phoenix faster than rail ridership at a national scale. Our bus ridership has been more sluggish, though, and what we're doing about that is investing in network redesign. We've also doubled down on the fundamentals. We're improving on-time performance. We've improved connections between routes and our customer responsiveness, and now we'll redesign those routes to reflect where people are traveling more. We're also doing a lot of marketing and campaigning, messaging around safety and security in the system, where we've had a lot of big wins, and messaging about the availability of transit and some of the tools that we have to make buying your fare and planning your trip easier.
Who else wants to tackle that one? Anybody else want to say anything about ridership?
Yeah, so at DART in Des Moines, we're at almost 4 million rides a year. One of the biggest trends we're seeing with other agencies and their designs, and we are looking at, is really the hours of service and the span of service. You know, we used to be very commute heavy, peak oriented service, and now spreading that service out through the days, through the nights, through the weekends is really important, especially as we look at getting people to retail and service jobs. And that change in providing the service when people need it and meeting those changes is critical.
It's good. Anybody else? Ben?
So yes, and to everything that we just said, I'd say the two other things that we're seeing in Metro Detroit, Smart, which is a suburban bus system, has had a lot of success with a flexible, on-demand type zone service, which I'm sure other folks have experimented with. We've seen a lot of ridership gains in that service, and then we about 3 years ago put out our first full express bus line connecting Ann Arbor to downtown Detroit. It's just a simple 16 round trips a day, very simple service. In 3 years, I've not seen anything less than a 15% ridership increase every single month, which just goes to show if you put just basic, good, solid service where people are going to use it, even in the Motor City, people will absolutely use it. I keep waiting every month I get my report. I'm like, this is the month it's going to be flat, and it keeps going up and up and up. So being innovative, putting out new styles of service.
Did you know that Detroit is the only place in America where you look south to look at Canada?
I knew.
Isn't that wild? Yeah, tell us about that. That's very interesting.
So I mean, it's a fact of geography. I would say one of the interesting things, actually, just recently, something we're gonna probably have to deal with when I get back.
Oh, yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, so the city of Windsor actually had what we called the tunnel bus that would deliver workers over to Detroit, mostly nurses and hospital workers, and that service was just eliminated about a couple of weeks ago. There were some Canadian political reasons for that, funding reasons. There's other reasons that I think we all understand in terms of relationships with Canada. So we're going to be having a conversation on the Detroit side of that equation to see, is there something we can solve from a regional transit perspective.
And talk about the new bridge you got coming in between Canada and America.
The Gordie Howe Bridge should be open next year. So that'll have a bike ped path. That project's been under construction and under planning for as long as I've been in planning, which is, God, 20 or 30 years. I actually started as an environmental advocate on the other side of that bridge. I'll just leave it at that.
And now you're building it.
And now I'm excited it's being built. But yeah, so next year that's gonna open. And so again, having that connection, that transit connection, figuring out how we can do that with our partners in Windsor, because they're essentially a suburb of Detroit. And our hospital systems rely on those workers. So we're going to have to when I get back, we'll have to figure out how we're going to rebuild that relationship and that service.
It's great. We got about 10 or 15 minutes left of the Transit Unplugged Live CEO Roundtable. If you're enjoying this will become a podcast that we'll be putting out in a few weeks. Wherever you get your podcast, you can grab it and send it to your friends if something was interesting in the panel discussion. And you can also subscribe, like and subscribe it on YouTube and also on regular podcast platforms. It's really a great way to stay on top of the latest trends. We only interview top executives around the world. Like I just interviewed a guy, Winston Toe, who's going to be on right after Super September, and he runs the buses in Singapore. So kind of cool stuff. We get ideas from all over the world. We're the only industry I know of that doesn't compete against each other. We're all here to help each other. So the podcast is a way to share and spread good ideas, and it's sponsored by Modaxo, the parent company of Vontis, and not looking for anything in return. Just wanting to promote the industry. So I think it's a great tool for all of you to use, and encourage your staff to listen as well. Speaking of staff, Ken, I wanted to ask you about culture. You've done a great job there building culture and retaining staff and attracting. Tell us how you've done it.
I think the most important part is we have 5 strategic priorities that we rely on to plan it and design everything for the organization. One of those is serving the customers first. That whatever decision that you make in the organization, think of the customers first. So that customer first identity have gone through our organization. All our employees believe that that's where we begin, because that's the purpose that we are here for. We are here to serve our customers. So having a customer-centric environment has been really, really powerful to changing the culture in the organization.
That's great. Ben, how about you? Down here, this Ben. Yeah, go ahead. Ben Limmer.
Yeah, I mean, you picked 2 of us, Paul. So yeah, I mean, definitely focus on the customer. We like to say the customer experience is our North Star. But as far as building a culture internally is getting out, riding the system, engaging with customers directly, engaging with, bus drivers, mechanics directly, hear directly from them, and go to where they work, go to their office, and, most importantly, listen and follow up on what you are hearing from your frontline staff. They are the face of the service, and they absolutely need to be taken care of. Goes a long way.
That's great. All right, we're going to pivot now to AI, technology. What are we doing right now with the latest technologies? I recently did a podcast with Harry Wilson, who's the head of MV Transportation, a great guy. He actually was in Detroit helping lead the turnaround for General Motors for the federal government a few years ago. And he told me something that's resonated with me. He said, Paul, AI is going to be bigger than cell phones and the internet. That's the impact it's going to have on our world, and it already starting to have that. Are any of you all seeing the impact in your agency? How are you using it? Is there any other new technologies? You want to start, Jessica?
Sure. So customer experience is our North Star and our strategic plan. And so we do a lot of interaction with our customers. We use traditional channels like surveys and follow-up focus groups, but to really keep our thumb on the pulse of our customers, we're using a tool made by AlphaView that allows us to upload all of our customer contact data. And then they also pull in social media data as well as information from the news media. And they have a tool called Ask Your Data, and it really is an AI query. So I can ask my data, what are customers saying today about security on the system, which is a question I ask of my data several times a week these days. I was actually just sharing this with Administrator Molinaro in a conversation earlier. Here's how I know how we're doing in security. It bears out in the monthly data and the stats, but to really see what the customers are saying, it'll give you kind of temperature information and then pull out illustrative comments that actual customers have made or the public have made in social media channels and tell you what they're saying. So that is a great quick way to really keep your thumb on the pulse of the writing public.
Do you have anybody like monitoring social media at your agency or responding to Twitter, X, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we do. Of course, we've got a communications team who is responding to that, and really mining that data and using AI helps us give more pointed responses, and it helps us be relevant. So we're talking about what the people are talking about.
It's interesting. Go ahead, Ben, or you want to, Amanda?
Yeah, so I think one thing that's really important is with AI is we are all operating pretty leanly. As a government funded, taxpayer funded, we really want to return that investment. And so AI is one of the biggest ways to help our staff be more efficient, get things done quicker. And that's one of the ways we're starting as an organization. Again, I know there's a lot of fear out there about how it might replace jobs, but for us, it can be a multiplier where we don't have the opportunity to hire more people, but we can make sure our people have tools to do their job faster and better.
And then, as you're answering, Ken, or anybody else, are you doing autonomous vehicles? I'm interested in that, if you've got any ideas on that.
No on the autonomous vehicle, but I've been very fortunate that one of my board members own an AI company. So we meet once a month and talk about how we bring that into the organization. And that has been tremendous in helping me to bring AI into our organization, because I have an expert who is actually free that's helping me to bring it into the organization. And employees have embraced it. I've been very surprised of how fast employees embrace this new technology to help them to do a better job. And one of the things I tell them is put on their computer, and this was given to me on a book I read, how can AI help with this? Put it on your computer, and every time you have a problem, ask, how can AI help me here?
Write it on a sticky note, huh?
Yep.
Old school for new school, yeah. All right, either the Bens want to say anything on that? All right.
I'll just do a really quick. So I'll do a quick for my leadership APTA class. So for people who are interested, one of our teams did research and interviewed about 40 CEOs and others about AI and their use of AI. So there'll be a best practices report on that. So anybody who wants to look at leadership APTA, 4:30 tomorrow, we'll be doing our capstone presentation. So I just wanted to say that. We are partnering with the city of Detroit to do some AV shuttles as well, but I'll let Ben talk about, other AI stuff.
All right, Ben, we'll bring it down to you. Ben Limmer from Connecticut.
Yeah, I was going to touch on the automated bus project we have going on.
Oh, yeah, Ben.
Yeah, so we have a BRT line called the CT Fast Track. It runs between New Britain and downtown Hartford. It's about 10 miles, been around about 10 years, also just had a birthday. Ridership-wise, been wildly successful, all of the TOD surrounding these stations. But it is formerly used to be a railroad corridor. So it's, free from automobile traffic. So there's a ton of, all of the operational enhancements that you need to operate a successful BRT line. But it's also the perfect place to test autonomous buses. So we are working on a couple of pilot projects in that space. Super excited.
That is great. All right, we're got one more question left for everybody, but I want you to imagine a scenario like this. Imagine you wanted to go from one city to the next, and you were able to have a vehicle, autonomous vehicle, pick you up at your front door, take you to the high-speed rail station. The high-speed rail station would take you at 300 kilometers per hour, like the one I just rode 3 days ago in Italy, and take you to the next city, and what would take you multiple hours, shorten it. When you got to the station, there was everything you needed there, coffee, right on the station wall. You could go right there and access it. Your bags you brought with you, and then you're picked up by an autonomous vehicle and taken to the location you want to be at. Imagine the power of that seamless transportation experience that we don't quite have yet here in America. So with that as our background context, which I would love to see, maybe part of that could also be, I want to be the first in America to ride the autonomous helicopter that lands on my front yard and takes me to the top of the FTA building. I've already told several people that run those. So let's look at the future, Jessica. It may not be as fantastic as that, but in your mind, talk to us about what the future of public transportation looks like to you, say in 5 or 10 years in Phoenix.
So what we're working toward and what I see happening in Phoenix is that the bulk of the miles for our customers' trips are going to take place on our mass modes. Those are our big buses and our trains that are designed to carry large volumes of people over long or short distances. But what we're experimenting with in the Valley, where we have a lot of lower density communities that might be a reality on the beginning or end or both of a customer's trip, is demand responsive service. So right now we've got microtransit in place. We also did a pilot program in the city of Chandler. It got shortened a little bit because of the pandemic, but they used Waymo, and they were piloting that with senior citizens specifically to see the tolerance of that type of service with this demographic, which is pretty important if you're in the Sun Belt like I am, and they loved it. It was fantastic. So I can see smaller autonomous vehicles operating on the ends of trip, and then our high capacity vehicles operating and carrying most of the people for the long trips. And for those people who choose to live in our dense, vibrant communities across the Valley, maybe they're spending most of their time on those big buses or those trains, but we're getting people to the other places that might not be well served by a 40 or a 60-foot bus, and certainly doesn't have the density to support rail service.
That's beautiful. I love that vision. All right, Ben, what's your vision for 5 or 10 years for Connecticut?
I do think that Jessica's answer is absolutely spot on for the whole country. We're certainly actually partnering with VIA on a microtransit right now.
Boom, big money VIA. Congratulations. Right. Big week for VIA.
Went public. Yeah, VIA's. Yeah. You're buying all the happy hours.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, some of the other things that we are doing, we do a lot of customer satisfaction, customer surveys. So on top of everything Jessica outlined, it's just making the system more accessible, whether it's a tap and ride to get on. I mean, we got to be the last industry on earth that you couldn't just tap something to get on. Real time information as far as when the next bus or train is coming. It's really all the little things to just modernize the system to make it easier and more comfortable to use.
Yeah, that's where, as Ben noted, public-private partnerships come in. I've worked in government half my career, and I can tell you the government moves sometimes at the speed of, mail. Let's just say that. And we're in the era of email these days, right? And so partnering with technology companies, with the partners that are all here on this floor, that really is what I think gives an exponential jump to government-funded agencies where they can partner. So, Amanda, how about you? What's your vision?
Again, on top of what these folks said, I think one of the key words for us and within the industry needs to be sustainability. And that can mean a lot of things, but our riders and our employees and our communities need us to provide sustainable transit for the long term. And we have to work together at all levels, local, state, federal, and between our communities, which those relationships and that work can be really difficult. So I envision 10 years from now where some of those relationships are a lot smoother, and we're living in a world where I hope there is a lot more respect and listening for each other and helping each other, because that's the only way we as an industry in a region are going to succeed.
Excellent. APTA CEO of the Year. Come on, Ken.
For me, the most important part is easy access to our system. We have to make the system wayfinding and access to get into our system. A couple of months ago, I had never ridden Waymo, and I took a ride in there. Scared at first, do I get in a car that no one is driving? But when I got into the vehicle, and at the end of my trip, I thought, we have to look at how we use this in transit, because it is way ahead of where we are in terms of having a 40-foot bus. How do we extend our service with vehicles that are with no one operating it, but getting you to where you need to go? So to me, there's a vision about wayfinding, accessibility, and less cost to operate the vehicles.
Excellent. Love it. All right. Bring us home.
So you put me at the end of an august panel after the CEO of the Year. So I can say ditto, ditto, ditto all the way down the line. I think, and we all touched on this, transit, and the reason I love this industry is an absolute reflection of our society and the very best of what we are in this nation and in our communities. Whether it be innovation, partnership, customer focus, safety focus. So I just see nothing but good things in the road ahead. Bigger roles for transit, making land use decisions, economic decisions, being at that table when those decisions are made. I'm sure we've all been impacted by those decisions. So really, I just see a bigger and bigger role for transit. The technology and all those things will help us play that role. But it just I think nothing but good things ahead.
Nothing but blue skies, huh?
That's right.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you all for being here today. Let's give our august panel a round of applause. As I mentioned, this will be on Transit Unplugged, the podcast. I also just want to make one final closing thought, kind of a point of personal privilege. I served as CEO of the MTA in Baltimore, and I can tell you the lives they lead. And it's a life of sacrifice for the good of the community. This is not an 8-to-5 job. This is a job that literally is 24/7. People like Gary have lived it as well, right? And I think they deserve our respect. And really, part of the purpose why I started the Transit Unplugged podcast was I wanted to give CEOs a chance to tell their own story. Most of the time when they're in the media, they're responding real time to a crisis like Jessica had to. And they don't get an opportunity to talk about all the good things that are going on because there is so much good happening in the industry. So I'm going to ask you all to help us spread the news of all the good things happening in transit. What you said, the blue skies. When this podcast comes out, share it on your social media. Say, hey, listen to 5 of America's top CEOs talk about the good things happening in transit. Let's all become transit evangelists in our own communities and speak to the 85% of voters who say they support public transportation even though they don't use it. And they support it because it provides access to jobs, number one. Number 2, because it provides service to the elderly and people with disabilities. And number 3, because it provides access to services for lower income people. And the 85% of Americans that don't ride transit still see value in their tax dollars coming to us for those reasons. So let's send that message out. Redefine our value proposition for the community. That it's not just for the 4 or 5% of our community that ride, but it helps everyone. Can I get a witness? Amen, right? All right. All right, thank you all so much. And before we go, I want to get a selfie with you guys. So, Laurence, great to meet you. You're the CEO, Laurence Broseta of Keolis International. And we're meeting in your headquarters here in Boston during the American Public Transportation Association's TRANSform Conference. Great to meet you. We had a little conversation last night. So thanks for letting us chat with you for a few minutes today.
Yes, nice to meet you as well. I'm happy to have this interview.
Yeah, I kind of lost my voice last night at all the parties and the receptions, but we'll do our best to get through this.
I did my best not to lose it because I had to talk 2 minutes this morning, so I saved
right.
I saved my voice for the conference.
That's right. You were the keynote this morning, one of the
Yeah.
keynotes. Yeah, that's great. Actually,
I introduced a panel about mega projects. That's very interesting, and as Keolis, we are part of a few mega projects around the world. In particular, we mentioned this morning in the panel the Île-de-France Mobility Grand Paris Express project, which is a loop of automated metro around Paris.
Okay.
And it's still under construction, but Keolis will be the operator of the new lines.
Very good.
And the Grand Paris Express was part of the panel invitees.
Very nice. That's good. Well, tell us some about your company, Keolis, and your place in the world. I mean, you're one of the largest operators of public transportation around the world.
Yes, absolutely. We are amongst the largest. We, as Keolis, we operate in 13 countries. Our main country is France because historically we came from France, but we operate in 12 our others. Our second big country is, our platform, let's say, is North America with US and Canada.
Okay.
The third one is Australia. And we also operate in Middle East, Asia, and Africa.
Oh, very good. And so you're CEO of the international, right?
Yes, exactly. I don't look after the France business. I have colleagues doing that.
Sure.
My part of the world is the rest of the world.
The rest of the world. Yeah, I understand. That's great. So how did France become like the center of all these big companies? Because it's you, TransDev, and RATP Dev. And by the way, you've worked for them. Let's talk about that later. But how is that? I mean, you guys have like dominate now the world market.
Yes, yes, that's amazing. 3 of the main largest operators are from France. You mentioned them. I believe there are reasons for that because of the maturity of the transportation sector in France for operation. The public transport authority in France have long gone to private operation, not in every city, but maybe more than half of the cities.
Okay.
And they have a model of subcontracting the operation to private operators, which is very interesting and a bit different from what you find in other countries, because they subcontract the whole transport operation, not only metro on one side, bus on another side. Right. They subcontract the whole network for a city, and that include marketing, for example. We are in charge of growing the ridership, so doing whatever is needed with passengers to make them come to our network. So based on this, we the French operators have built a strong expertise that we use elsewhere in the world. Yeah. So I believe it's one of the reasons why we are so strong. Although the model is usually different in other countries, with subcontracting of specific operations, separate.
Do you is it common in your operations in France for you all, since you're responsible for marketing, are you keeping the fare box? Is that the fare revenues, or do you give that to the agency, or how does that work over there?
Yeah, there are different models, and I know you told me you visited the Dijon network, which is a great example of integrated network, because in Dijon, Keolis operates the buses, the tram, the parking, the bikes. Oh, wow. So it includes also first mile, last mile, and slow mobility, we can say. And usually we are in charge of ridership, increasing ridership and collecting the revenue. The revenue goes to the PTA, but depending on the contract, we have certain incentives on the growth of a ridership. It's not that we keep the revenue, the revenues are back to the PTA and they pay for our services, but we manage to grow year by year the ridership, and we are incentivized on that.
That's wonderful, yeah. When we talked last night at your reception, I mentioned, I just want to mention it because I have such respect for him that your predecessor, Bernard, was a great man, and he's the one that invited me to come over there. That's how I got to visit there. And you've got big shoes, and I understand you're filling them very well, as we say here in the U.S. So,
I am proud to be in Bernard Tabari's shoes. He was very well recognized in the industry, and he did great in Keolis team. Very much appreciated by our employees and partners.
I remember, just a side note, I remember I had my daughter with me, and he just was so warm and friendly, you know. She was just, you know, and made her feel welcome at this big dinner with all the grown-ups, you know, and it was just wonderful. And you had a great team, and you do have a great team. Keolis is one of the greatest transit companies in the world. I mean, no doubt about it. One of the things I love, Justin Thompson, the chief of staff here in the U.S., just walked us around the building, and he took me to the room where you call it a visualization room. Tell us about that. I love that concept, what you all do.
Yeah, visualization rooms are very important because it's a place where we have on the walls all the main KPIs of our operation. Usually you have a section for operation, what were the on-time performance results for the last days, the last weeks, the last month, what are the targets where we are, and you have a section for the rolling stock or buses and how do they perform, what is our mean time between failure, or all the main KPIs and the financial KPIs as well, the ridership. And when you enter the room, you can enter with the management team and have your management meetings there and look at the KPI and discuss the results and the targets and action plan. But you can do that also with any type of employee. People from the maintenance, the workshops, they can come here and also share where we are, both in their area for maintenance, but also have an understanding of what else is happening in the company. So it's a very powerful tool to share with all our employees, management level and all employees, the situation of the company, the target, and when we have the whole team understanding well the targets and what are the goals we want to achieve, we get also better engagement and accountability for all the teams. And these tools are part of a bigger framework of a Keolis program. We have Keolis ways of doing things, and that's the value we add to our public transport authorities when we take over a contract. We came with our programs. So, for example, this visualization room, it's part of the program we call KEO and KIM. KEO is the Keolis way of doing operation, and KIM is the Keolis way of doing maintenance. And it includes best practice that we have learned in all our network and that we transfer to a specific operation. And it includes standard operating procedures and how to engage staff with visualization room and best processes and best practices for operation on one side and maintenance on the other side. So the idea is to, for our partners, to get the best value of working with a global, international partner who gather best practice and implement them in their local operations.
That's good, yeah. You know, those type of things in an organization, to me, make all the difference. The focus on the numbers, the focus on individual accountability. Justin was telling me again, I've heard this before, that you bring everybody in and it's a stand-up 1 hour meeting.
Yeah.
You stand up, right? Walk me through how that would work. That's very interesting. And they point to the numbers and like everybody has to kind of talk about it?
Yeah.
Is that what happens?
It happens. So depending of the type of meeting, it can be 1 hour if it's a management meeting, but it can also be a 5-minute meeting. Typically in the KIM program, the Keolis way of doing maintenance, the best practice is 5 minutes every morning with the workers in the depot. So you have the visualization in the depot, and everybody look at the panel, what happened the last day, who is working today, what is the task of everybody, what are the main action of the day, and it's only 5 minutes standing in front of the panel, and the staff can ask questions, come with initiative and ideas also. It's things we can have on the panel, and we note the initiative, and we see how we can progress with them. So yeah, so
I love it. That's good. Let's talk about what you're doing here in America, because you do bring those international kind of procedures that you use all over the world to American contracts. But here in Boston, you all operate the largest, I think, privately operated commuter rail service in the country for the MBTA, for the T.
Yeah.
Ryan Colahan, the chief operating officer, is a good friend of mine. Has been on the podcast, and he's told me before how you all were great partners, getting out of the snowstorm, that happened a couple years ago and all like that. And so, talk to me about this operation here, the MBTA, and the role it plays at Keolis.
Yeah, it's a very important contract for Keolis. We are operating for a decade now. It started. It was quite difficult at the start when we started the operations here. We had to make a lot of efforts to improve the operational performance. The KPIs that you were just mentioning initially were not so good. So it took a few years, honestly, to make it better and to have now one of the best operating performance of the commuter rail, and you can see that in the ridership, because you know that after COVID, most of the commuter networks, and it's true as well for bus operation, had difficulty to go back to ridership prior to COVID, and with the commuter rail here in Boston, we are back to pre-COVID ridership, and it's the best recovery of all the commuter rail. It's amazing, and actually it's thanks to the quality of the partnership we have with MBTA, because it's not only by putting the service back to what they were that it was achieved, but it was looking at the new trend of passenger journey after COVID. We all know that not everybody has come back full time to their offices. People are doing home working now, at least partially. So there are less commuter journeys, but there are more leisure journey or journey at any time during the day or weekend journeys. And we have seen this trend not only here in Boston and North America, but everywhere in the world. So very quickly, Keolis came with proposal to our public transport authorities everywhere in the world to adapt the timetables to the new trend. And MBTA took it very quickly. We shared our best practice around the world, but they were also at the initiative and pushing for it. So we could implement new timetables with these off-peak journeys and weekend journeys, and it worked very well. So that's how we recovered less commuter journeys, more leisure journeys.
Yeah, and you're right. That's what's happening around the world. Call back to a great leader you had here recently, David Scory, who was a good friend of mine and recently retired. Did a great job. What you had here, and now you brought in a wonderful guy, Brad, who is a good friend of mine. Was at First Transit and had a long history here in the U.S. Good hire, by the way. Smart having Brad Thomas here. Yeah. So talk to me about the process you all go through in selecting your top leaders around the world. What are you looking for?
That's a great question, because obviously we are a people business, and it's only managing people, drivers, passenger attendants, etc. So we work with our staff, and we need to have great leaders to engage our employees and deliver the results. So about the selection process, so you mentioned Brad Thomas, who is now in charge of all our North America operation. So not only in the US but also in Canada, and we have grown significantly in the US and Canada in the last years. So I will come back to that. So Canada, so Brad is overseeing this whole operation. And in Boston for the commuter rail, we now have John Killin managing the Boston commuter rail. He was part of the team in the last years, and that's how David Scory started also in North America. He started by being the head of the commuter rail, and then he was Chief Executing Officer for the whole US. So we have both Brad for US and John Killin for the commuter rail. And to come back to the leaders, so there is a recruitment. So we have taken people who have a great reputation on the market, like Brad, and he had a long experience in other companies and delivered a lot. So it was definitely a great recruitment. And then I want to mention another of the Keolis program, because it's about having the right people and making them work well together and work the Keolis way. So we also have a Keolis way of leadership, let's say. So we have a leadership management program that we have deployed in all our countries. It was partly born in Australia and here in North America, who first piloted here, and now it's in all our operation. So we work with our leaders. So first, the executive team on what are the good practice in leadership that Keolis want to implement to make sure we work collaboratively and we engage our staff.
Great.
So
have your own kind of academy to grow.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. You mentioned that Brad oversees operations in the U.S. and Canada. I wanted to ask you about the high-speed rail Alto you've got going in Canada. Can you tell me something about that?
Yeah. So Alto was announced by the Canadian Prime Minister just at the beginning of this year, and he launched the project. We went through a competition where many companies were involved to get this contract. So it's a very special scheme that we have not seen elsewhere since now, because it's a high-speed light project, but they have tendered out at the time where the design is not yet done, but we will partner with the government to prepare the design. So it starts with a co-development phase where the contractor and the government will work hand in hand to develop the scheme. So like the alignment, exact speed, a characteristic of the railway. So we start with a 4-year period of development with a
4-year plan.
4-year plan. So just recently, this week, the government announced that they want to speed up the process.
Speed up the high-speed rail.
Exactly. They had initially planned for 8 years of co-development plus design before start of construction, and now they said we'll start construction in 4 years' time.
So they cut it in half.
Yeah.
Where's it going to go from? What are the cities it's going to? Do you know?
So yes, it's Toronto to Quebec.
Toronto to Quebec. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't been able to figure out high-speed rail in America yet. It's pretty odd. It's everywhere else in the world, Asia, Europe. I mean, I just rode SNCF from Milan up to Turin. You guys have a good relationship with SNCF, right?
Yes, SNCF is our main shareholder. They are.
I didn't know that.
They are 70% shareholder for Keolis, and our other 30% is Caisse des Dépôts du Québec, CDPQ. CDPQ is Caisse des Dépôts du Québec, and we work together for this Alto project, because it's not only the contract with the operator. We have the financing institution, which would be CDPQ, plus future operator, Keolis, and the design JV. So the contract has been awarded to this group consortium, including financing, future operation, and design. And it's very interesting to have the operator from the beginning, because we are here to make sure we think like a passenger from the beginning, and we think about the services at the same time that we design the network. So SNCF, yes, so they are our main shareholder. As you mentioned, they operate high speed all over Europe, not only in France. They are the historical rail operator in France, but now they have expanded their services all over Europe, thanks to the opening to private operation of all the rail network in Europe. So now they have high-speed rail in France, and Eurostar, as you know, is also owned partially by SNCF, Thalys to Belgium and Netherlands, high speed to Italy and in Spain as well. And what is interesting is they have developed that in Europe in open access, and now we are working together with our shareholder SNCF to address the international rail market, which is developing very fast. So Alto is an example. In this Alto contract, the operator will be Keolis plus SNCF. We have formed the JV.
So it's like design, build, operate?
Yeah, it will be design, build, operate, and funding. But SNCF and Keolis will be the operate and maintenance part of the contract.
Okay.
And with SNCF, we now look at the worldwide market because as for Canada and Alto, there are several other projects in the world. So a pity we don't yet have many opportunity for high speed in the North America and US, but it might come. It might come.
Come on, bring it here for us. Help us out.
So we'll come with a good example of what we do elsewhere. So there is Alto, and there are other high-speed projects. For example, Australia is working on developing a high-speed railway between Melbourne and Sydney. So it's still in the development phase, not yet fully funded, but good work is done on that. And that's for high speed, but also for that's for very high speed. But for high speed or normal speed, let's say, there are lots of other projects around the world that we are working on, and we will address with our shareholder SNCF.
Yeah. The train we were on, I think, was going 300 kilometers per hour. Very smooth.
Yeah.
We met with the lady who's the president of their operations in Italy. So she showed us everything for an upcoming episode we got. Very impressed. We rode a couple other operators too. I rode 3 in total. And, you know, here in America, we've got Brightline Trains, which is a private operator. And they're building something between Las Vegas and Los Angeles, basically. That would be the first, I think, happening. But, you know.
First steps.
Yeah, that's right. Well, kind of first steps. I mean, when I was CEO of the MTA in Baltimore, we were when I got there 10 years ago, we were studying high-speed rail between Washington and Baltimore. We had a $20-some million federal grant. Now it's 10 years later. Guess what they're still doing? Studying. So I like the fact that the Canadian government said, let's get this done in half the time. Come on, man. What the heck?
No, and in France, when I was a kid, I was living in Marseille, and to go from Marseille to Paris, I did it a few times. It was a 7 hours train. So it was feasible by train, but all day. And now it's 3 hours and 30 minutes, which is very quick. So I can go for the weekend. I leave on Friday evening, and I arrive Friday evening. And I come back for the weekend.
2 hours ahead of time to the airport, like you do everywhere else.
And this line was the first one, Paris to Lyon and then to Marseille. And in my first years of career, I also worked for a high-speed one in Great Britain, which was a high speed between London and the Channel Tunnel and then to Paris. So in UK as well, now you have this high speed with Eurostar. You go very fast from Paris to London.
I've done that. That's great.
And these were the first lines, but now it's all over Europe, and it has changed the European way of life, because now you go to any city very quickly with trains and high-speed trains. So short flight is no longer necessary. You use massively trains in Europe.
Yeah, I'm with you on the high-speed rail. It does change your way of life. It was amazing, you know, how quick you can get around. So let's switch back here to North America, where we're at today in Boston. What do you all do here in North America? We've talked about the, commuter rail, but what else are you doing?
Yeah. So yes, in North America, we are in rail, and we are in bus transit as well. And we have enjoyed a nice growth in the recent years in North America. You know, we beginning of January 2024. So last year we started 2 new big contracts in Phoenix and Austin. So we double the size of our transit activity in America at this stage. And
those are two great operations too, led by two great women.
Absolutely,
right? Jessica
absolutely.
Mefford-Miller in Phoenix, right? And Dottie in
Yeah.
Metro, yeah.
Yeah, we have good clients and partners in these two cities. So we are working on improving performance of operation as well in these cities. It's going on well. And so that was the beginning of 24. And this year we also won a nice contract close to here, Metro West transit operation. So it's close to our commuter rail operation. So we started this year. So another nice contract. So good growth in transit in the US. And in Canada, we used to be present mostly in the east part of the country, around Montreal and Quebec. Okay. And we did an acquisition last year of a company operating in the other part, in the west part. So we also doubled our size in Canada thanks to acquisition, to grow in the part of the country we were not present. So now we are working on the integration of these two entities, and we have a great leader there, Greg Nichols, who has joined Keolis with this acquisition and now manage all Canada. So we are targeting also good growth in Canada, in addition to the Alto project, which will take some time to be built.
There you go. All right, so last question is, let's talk about the future.
Yeah.
So public transportation had a real inflection point, right, during the pandemic. It really hurt us everywhere, ridership, et cetera. I think we're back. We're back pretty strong. I think we've got a lot of new lessons we learned. Things are a lot cleaner now than they used to be. I remember back in the day, the buses were lucky to get a deep clean once a week. Now it's happening every night, you know. So what do you see for the future from your perspective, leading one of the biggest companies in the world?
Yeah, I agree with what you say. We are now post-COVID, and the ridership is more or less back, depending of where, but it's back. And the demand is there from our passengers, but also from the community, because we have to go to cleaner transportation, cleaner way of life, and decarbonization. So public transport is getting ready for that with more and more clean vehicles, for example. So we have many PTAs here in North America who are going to new energies, so electrical vehicle or hydrogen vehicles. As a group, we already operate 1,500 electrical vehicles around the world. So we have experience of all type of bus manufacturer, and we have gone through the launch and pilot everywhere, so we know the best practice to operate them, and we can share that with the PTA who want to launch their green energy. So electric is one way. Hydrogen is also
I love hydrogen.
Developing well here. We operate a hydrogen vehicle in Foothill, for example, and we know
for Dorn Barnes.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a great operation of hydrogen vehicles there. So I think that's part of the future. To keep developing our bus transit operation and having it greener and greener, and keep developing rail as well. I told you around the world there are lots of projects or mega projects of new metro lines and train lines, and I wish we will have some also here in North America.
Please, I beg you, bring us high-speed rail. That's great. Well, Laurence Broseta, Keolis International CEO, it's been a joy to meet you and to hear your perspective on what's happening around the world and how you're bringing some of those best practices right here to North America. Thank you so much.